Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And now I know you're waiting patiently for the Captain America and Wolverine update videos with the new Phoenix Force Enter the Phoenix Tournament uniforms. And I am excited to bring them to you, but I have to do this rant first. And this rant has nothing to do, well, it has to do with this latest update, but it's not specifically or exclusively this latest update, but rather what I see as a general trend since right around the anniversary, right around the 6-year anniversary of Marvel Future Fight. Now, for those of you that, you're more casual players or whatever, I take this game very seriously. I think about this game way too much. And so I tend to notice patterns about the game, and maybe I'm wrong on this one. Maybe I'm in the minority, so to speak. But in addition to seeing, viewership sort of slow down for this game, which is normal around the August-September timeframe anyways, and we're now into October because people are going back to school, and especially with the pandemic and vaccine things, more people are going back to school and back to work and stuff. But in addition to that, in addition to the normal slowdown before the holiday pickup, I've noticed that not only has viewership sort of slowed down, but I want to say like the community's feeling and feedback and reaction, the hype, the update hype has not really been that good. It hasn't been that good through, very sought after and long requested updates like Doctor Doom Tier 3. It hasn't been that through comic book updates, right? Ripped straight from the pages. I know it's Jason Aaron, but this is straight from the comics, and it hasn't even been the case for MCU stuff. So it's not like we've only had one type of update for the last 4 or 5 months. Like, oh, Alex, it's only been comic book updates. There hasn't been any MCU stuff. No. Or like, oh, Alex, it's only been MCU stuff. There hasn't been anything like for the diehard comic book fans. No. Or, there hasn't, a lot of obscure characters are getting reworks. Doctor Doom, Loki, Wolverine, Captain America, Hyperion, all the original characters, Sharon Rogers, Luna Snow, Crescent, right? No. Characters that have been in the game since day one, War Machine, Hulkbuster, no, right? So we can't say it's any of those things. So what is going on? So this is basically the intro to my rant of just having mediocre reworks. And I say mediocre knowing that mediocre is not the right word. The updates have been great and the reworks have been great, but they've been stagnant. That's what I think I'm trying to say. Stagnant reworks. Now, it's not 100% true. We have seen some breakout stars in the last few months of updates. Obviously, Doctor Doom is an amazing threat for PvE and PvP. Shang-Chi, despite what some people may not believe, is a god for PvE and is pretty, much top 10 for PvP. We have Loki completely busting the doors open on ABX like people never thought possible, carrying Dispatch, etc. But aside from these lone bright spots, we've seen so many characters get reworked and we basically just forget about it. And I'm not sure how to explain why we're getting a rework for a character that's good and timely and not too overpowered, but then it just disappears. And a month later, everybody's like, oh, War Machine got a rework? Really? Oh yeah, that War Machine update, right. Yeah, Armor Wars, $30.99. Quicksilver? No. Oh yeah, Quicksilver got a rework too, right? He has iframe ignore now, right, true, right? These things, it's sort of just like, you're sitting on the beach, you're standing on the beach, you're looking down at your feet, and you can see the water coming in and touching your feet, and then the water recedes, and you're like, are my feet wet? And then the water comes back and wets your feet, and you're like, oh yeah, my feet are wet. True, man. Listen, maybe I sound like I'm on another wavelength here, but it's true. I think if you think about it, if you take a step back and you really ponder it, reworks like Visions, like Scarlet Witch's rework, like Iron Man's rework, these reworks not only were substantial, but they just felt impactful for whatever reason. Now, there can be multiple reasons why we feel less impactful by the reworks recently, but I do think it boils down to two main issues. One, the reworks have not really tried to push the envelope besides those characters that I mentioned. You had Shang-Chi, Doctor Doom, and Loki. And then the other thing I think is a lack of new difficult content. Now, the second one is a little bit more contentious because when I say new difficult content, it just relates to players who basically already have the vast majority of characters built up. Because if you don't have the vast majority of characters that are tier 3able at tier 3 and transcendable transcended, if you don't have the big dogs, then you haven't experienced the big dogs. So you haven't had time to get bored of the big dogs, so to speak, right? If you just minted your level 70 Mephisto, you're flying high, right? But for those of us who were sort of on pace, right, unlocking Null in January, unlocking Mephisto in April or May, you know, we've sort of now we've hit that plateau where it's like, oh, okay, Wolverine got another uniform. It's pretty good. It's not bad. Proxima's uniform is pretty good. It's not bad. Again, I've been saying this a lot lately with these reworks, right? Winter Soldier's uniform, it's not bad. It's pretty good. Captain Marvel's new uniform, man, it's not bad. It's pretty good. It's true, man. They're all pretty good. So what the heck does that mean? Exactly. If everything's pretty good, it doesn't mean anything. And that's kind of my issue. Now, again, the content being difficult, sure, we could have gotten a new World Boss Legend. We haven't gotten one by now. Fingers crossed that we still get one by the end of the year. A third one, I think Bacon agrees as well. We did get new content in the form of Timeline Survival, and Timeline Survival is difficult at higher stages, right? Threat level 6 is very difficult, but we've sort of solved the riddle of Timeline Survival, and it's either bring a very balanced roster or bring Doctor Strange. Neither one of those things highlights the value of any recent characters, and that's what I think it really boils down to, is that character reworks are not doing anything to highlight these characters in a big way, in a meaningful way. Now, that can be due to the devs just not having enough time to deep dive these uniforms and really make them work on a unique level. That could just be character fatigue from 244 and counting characters, but I gotta say, man, making characters more complex seems to be the name of the game lately, with Shang-Chi coming out, with Doctor Doom coming out, with characters like Hyperion coming out, where you have to work really hard to figure out how to make them work. And I'm not mad at that, so to speak, but it just sort of plays into this idea that, or this feeling that I have, you know, characters like Silver Surfer, characters like Namor, you know, characters like Immortal Hulk, where is that design? You know, where is that sort of feeling of uniqueness, but also this feeling of power, of like raw power? Where are the Ghost Riders and you know, and even like Black Dwarf and Corvus Glaive? I feel like we haven't had one of those characters in like four months now, right? Maybe going on 5 months. I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm making this video sort of guessing in the back of my mind that the Eternals is going to flip the game upside down, because MFF loves to do one big update flip per year, right? Last time it was Sentry when they introduced Pierce and they whatever. And I'm guessing this time around with the Epic Quest, they want to sell the Eternals. They're gonna make him a super busted tier 3. They're gonna make Cersei a super busted tier 3, and they're gonna bring in some other Eternals and make them super busted, and maybe introduce some new mechanics, or just combine mechanics that we haven't really thought about having combined before, so on and so forth, right? Yada yada yada. Whatever. That's cool. But yeah, man, sound off in the comments. Really let me know if you feel the same way that I do, because I understand in a game like this that not every character is going to be meta. I totally understand that. And I totally understand that balancing in this game is essentially impossible because there are over 200 characters. Right? Like, show me a game where there's show me the life hack. No, show me a game with over 240 characters where there is balance, right? You can't. You can't. Once you get past the triple digits, once you get to like 100 plus characters, balancing becomes very difficult. It becomes very difficult. But I'm not asking for balancing. And I'm also not asking I'm not asking the devs to just release super busted, super OP characters. But I don't know. I guess I don't know what I'm asking for. I just want there to be fewer characters that feel like a flash in the pan. I want fewer characters like Winter Soldier's rework, like War Machine's rework, unfortunately. I guess that's basically what I'm saying. Like Black Panther's rework, just, it's good, but it's just not anything that's gonna stand out. It's just gonna blend right in. It's a solid 6 out of 10, and it's just gonna blend into the crowd. It's a nice warm beige color. That's what it is. The devs have been painting with beige a lot lately, and it just kind of feels a little boring on the character side of thing. I'm not gonna lie. Like I have a blast playing Shang-Chi, don't get me wrong, but you know, Sharon didn't change at all. Her playstyle didn't change one lick. You know, they made Luna easier to play, but I kind of wanted her to stay the way she was because it was fun, it was unique. And now it's just the same cookie cutter 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 kind of thing. They didn't change Crescent's playstyle. It's still kind of annoying, but it's unique, I guess. But you get what I'm saying now, right? You sort of see what I'm saying? We haven't had a character like Venom in a while. Venom has a pretty unique playstyle. You know, 4 doesn't really do that much damage. 5 does good damage. 3 does good damage. And you sort of have to sprinkle the skills in between and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong about this. A character like Gambit, you know, just 5. Just 5. Just 3 cancel 5 and run away. 3 cancel 5. Like, such a unique character. It's so good, right? So cool. So, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you don't. But sound off in the comments and let me know. I also feel, just as an aside, I don't want to make the whole video about this, but I also do feel that a lot more characters are being built for PvP, or just like obviously better for PvP than PvE. A pretty good example is probably this update. Like, there's nothing wrong with Wolverine, Captain America, and Hyperion for PvE. Like, they can do World Boss Ultimate and they can do low to mid-level World Boss Legend, but I'm probably not surprising anyone here when I say that Shang-Chi just craps on Captain America and Wolverine. And there's no way these two dudes can compete with Sean for PvE. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And then when it comes to Hyperion, I mean, again, he's not bad, but do we have better universals? We do have better universals, both in the hero category and in the villain category. So it sort of begs the question, they got iframe ignored, they got counterattack, they got healing, this kind of thing. Maybe they were made for PvP, right? And it kind of seems like they are made for PvP. And I've already seen some other YouTube videos from some other content creators, Commander, Moonbro, etc., sort of maybe hinting that these characters are for PvP. And that's fine if they're for PvP. But if they're for PvP, make PvP better. If you're gonna focus, because characters are content, right? Characters are content in Marvel Future Fight. So if you're gonna focus on PvP characters, that's great. But then you've got to look at the game modes that these characters are then being funneled into, right? Like, you want players to focus more on PvP because you're releasing all these PvP uniforms. Groovy, man. Maybe throw a bone to Timeline Battle. Maybe throw a bone to Alliance Conquest, right? Make some of these game modes a little bit more interesting, a little bit more spicy. You know, polish these turds a little bit, and then maybe players will be more excited to see new characters and new reworks that are PvP oriented. Rescue, Hulkbuster, so many characters recently. Blue Marvel, right? Like Spectrum, so many characters recently have been just straight up for PvE, and then like surprisingly good for PvP. But PvP as a game mode at large in Marvel Future Fight has always sort of been neglected. But at least now they have a reason to invest in it because they want us to invest in it on the character level. So yeah, those are sort of my thoughts. Hit me up in the comments down below and let me know. Sound off and hit me up with what you think I'm feeling, or maybe if you're feeling something different, let me know what that is. I'm still happy with the game. I'm still having fun with the game. Not to worry, but I have realized and I've sort of recognized this sort of lull in the character designs that I'm not a huge fan of, and that I hope the devs quickly, you know, ditch, because even though these characters are not that strong anymore, I loved it when Odin came out. Such a cool character, felt really unique, really felt like I was playing Odin. Super dope design. Even, you know, Maker, when he came out, super duper cool, really nice. And we've sort of gone away from that, I think, unfortunately. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in the next one for either Cap or Wolverine's review. Take care.